To the 20. Just shy of the 25-yard line, and from that point, the Redskin offense will come onto the field for the very first time. At the helm once again, the quarterback, Gus Frerotte, who when he is on has been very effective. His consistency such a large factor in this game and in Washington's playoff push. The offensive line among the largest in the NFL. Trey Johnson at left guard, 326. The smallest at 291, the center, Jeff Ullina today. On first down, Frerotte. And in motion, the tight end, Jamie Asher. To the near side, Terry Allen. Out across the 30-yard line. The former Ram great Henry Ellard with Westbrook and Asher out there. And you see Allen. Defensively, there is more right bill than wrong with the Rams here. A front wall that features the youth of DeMarco Farr and the accomplishments of a 12-year veteran Leslie O'Neal. The linebacking trio, the man in the middle, Robert Jones leading them in tackles, and that secondary, especially on the corners, and Todd Light, Ryan McNeil, has been very solid. Second down. Frerotte throws incomplete, and believing that his tight end, and James Jenkins in this case, had run the wrong route. He cut outside to Jenkins there instead of over the middle.
Interesting enough, you know, we talked about Larry Bowie being back, the powerful guy, the fullback. Well, they've started the first two plays with James Jenkins, the backup tight end. He is lined up in the fullback position. This is him right here. He comes in motion, lines up over here. Then Asher comes over as well, and they run the ball. They did that 2 plays now. And then the second play, of course, they tried to get a pass off to him.
Ellard, Harper, Westbrook. The far side. Now Chris Thomas in motion and throwing Thomas's way. That's a first down catch out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Here's an emerging player in Chris Thomas. That's his 5th reception in 3 games for Thomas.
We talked to Gus Frerotte yesterday. He says, I like this guy. He's been a big surprise. You know, for the last 2 years, actually, the wide receiver position for the Redskins has been up and down, primarily due to injuries. But this year, they've had a little bit more depth. Last year, they lost those games at the end of the season because they didn't have depth there. They've had depth there this year, and Chris Thomas just stepped up.
Larry Bowie shifting into the backfield on first down. And Allen behind Bowie to the 39-yard line. You get Bowie in front of you at close to 250. That changes things with Washington's ground attack.
Yeah, they nickname him Larry Load. I mean, Larry, he is a load. A 250-pound fullback. You're going to see him bring that right up the gut there, and he seals the hole inside. That's a lineman he's on. That was Kevin Carter. He comes on that side and pins that corner down, and that opens things up.
Bowie coming off the ankle sprain, unable to play last week.
And Jenkins is in fullback, and then he just moved up to the line.
The tight end on 2nd and 8. Again, it is Allen. And that's close to the first down marker at the 47-yard line before Todd Light, the left corner, makes the stop for the Rams.
And that's what they got to do. They have to run the ball. Watch this right here. Here's Jenkins. He comes up. He blocks down. And then right there, Ed Simmons pulls. And he gets a piece of the linebacker, and that opens up the outside. So some different wrinkles here today by the Redskins offense, but it's all the same thing. They're finding a way to run the ball, and that's what they need to do because they win when Terry Allen runs.
3 carries already, 17 yards, 7 that time, a fresh set of downs. Opening possession, Frerotte going upstairs. Unloads underneath. Across the midfield stripe, Jamie Asher, the 3rd-year tight end out of Louisville, who will be a focal point, we expect, today in this Redskin attack.
Well, he's going to Jamie Asher take over a game, but when they run and they're successful running, it opens up the pass play.
You see his numbers last week against New York. Hit in the backfield and dropped at midfield. Robert Jones plugs Terry Allen. A solid stop there for the leading tackler, and Ram blue and gold on the season.
Well, this time he guessed right. Watch him shoot this thing. He just blows through the center guard gap there and blows it up in the backfield. And a lot of times Bud Carson's going to call those blitzes. He's an aggressive coach when it comes to playing defense. He's not going to sit back and let you march down the field on him. He's going to come after you and test you.
Bud Carson in his 23rd season in the NFL. It's 3rd down. 8th play of this opening possession unfolding, and that's snared for a first down inside the 40 again. It's Asher who went up to get it. The leading receiver on the season in Norv Turner's offense makes a clutch third down grab there in front of Toby Wright. A gain of 10.
You know, Gus and Asher have a relationship. They work real hard together in the offseason. I mean, it's a combination that they're comfortable with, and they know what each other's going to do. And as a quarterback, you need one guy like that in your offense all the time.
On first down, play action. And dumping underneath, and here's Bowie at the 10 with the block by Ellard. He scores. "39 yards on the opening possession." Bowie, the fullback, and Henry Ellard at the end.
They're going over there. They did the leap in the corner. They're trying to get it down.
Point has not missed one this year. And it's 7-0. Strike up the band. Bowie with the former Ram and Henry Ellard leading the way. Possession. Frerotte throwing. And Bowie rumbling. It's 7-0.
Boys, that's short.
Very short, and here's David Thompson. And Thompson's out across the 30 to 31. Kickoffs have been a problem for Scott Blanton throughout the season. Here again, the touchdown throw.
It puts you over the top.
Tony Banks and the Ram on first down. Right up the middle, Jerald Moore, a 240-yard load. Running back position. Tony Banks, the quarterback, in just his second season, set to trigger the St. Louis offense. When last seen a week ago, Bill, he was knocked from the game by Carolina with a concussion. He can both throw and run. The offensive line has been troubled, although Orlando Pace will start today on the left side. And the carry that time by Jerald Moore. He and Ironhead Heyward to work extensively in the Rams' backfield. It's a gain of 8 on first down, right up the middle. You can run on Washington. And the toss sweep more to the far side does not earn the first down marker. Right at the 40 was dropped. There were concerns the way teams have been able to mash this front line. Boutte, a former Ram. Lang is a rookie. The linebacking core has been solid all season. Harvey, Marcus Patton, and the rookie Derek Smith out of Arizona State. And the secondary, perhaps as fine as any foursome in the National Football League under first-year defensive coordinator Mike Nolan.
He's done an outstanding job. He's done an outstanding job every place he's been. And he's got this defense playing exceptionally well, yielding only the second amount of points in the league. Second least amount of points in the league.
Third and short. Moore, no way.
Now this is where they've had problems, Paul. Third down. They only have a 29% efficiency on third down. They have to be able to convert. They have not been able to do that on third down. They hammer the ball, they come out, and of course you want to test the Redskins' defensive rush because they're 29th in that, and you come out and you get some what to do. They want to see how far it is and then talk it over with defense coordinator. What should we do? Should we go for it, or is it too much we have to punt? And they chose to punt, and I think that's a smart decision because they have not been able to convert short yardage situations.
Brian Mitchell set to receive. One of the very best punt returners in the National Football League, kicking to him, 14-year veteran Mike Oran.
And I think the reason you question whether you go for it or not, I mean, when you're 2-10, what the heck's the difference? Well, why wait till 2 minutes left to go in the game to go for it on fourth down? You're 2-10. You got to take chances now to see what you have for next year.
Oran boomed a 60-yarder a week ago in the Dome against Carolina. A tight, high spiral. It'll bound at the 5 and just make it into the end zone. Washington must begin at its 20-yard line, leading by a touch.
It alleviates some of the pressure off a young quarterback. When you don't have that running game and the defensive line can get after you, you know you have to pass the ball. That makes it tough on any quarterback.
On first down, Asher starts in motion. He rolls after the play fake, and Asher is wide open already to the 30-yard line. Tight end Wesley Walls last week for Carolina had a great deal of success against this Rams defense, and they're running a lot of that here early.
You're exactly right, sure. And a lot of teams do that too. You know, you go
on the far side of the field. He's stopped by the linebacker and Mike Jones, the former Raider. First flag we have had in the early going here today. And the penalty is against Washington. And Norv Turner, referee, and Larry Nimmers, a piece of his mind. Larry in his 13th season in the National Football League.
Illegal shift on the offensive team. 2 men moving, same time. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Could have been the 2 tight ends, and Asher and James Jenkins moving that time for Washington.
Well, you're allowed to move 2 guys, but you're not allowed to move them at the same time. Now we have the tight end move up here, and then the other tight end move again. I'm not sure about that.
That's all we saw. Jenkins moves this time. Frerotte unloads to the sideline, intended for Michael Westbrook. It is incomplete. Let's go to JB in Hollywood for McDonald's game break.
All right, take a look. Kansas City unbeaten at home this year, getting off to a quick start. Andre Rising beating Darnell Walker with the press coverage on the outside. 7-0 Kansas City, looking for the playoffs today with some help. Let's take it back to Paul and Bill.
And the Spider-Man. In Kansas City, once every year, there's going to be one team that comes to Arrowhead that they get geeked up for, and they're going to put it to them. They did it last year to Green Bay.
Spoken like a former chief.
Yeah,
geeked up. Frerotte on second down and long, throws to the far side. Westbrook juggles and can't come up with it. Very nearly made the grab, did Michael Westbrook, out at the 41-yard line. It's been a difficult week for both of these players, including Michael Westbrook.
Well, Michael Westbrook came of age last week in a couple of ways. One, with the 9 receptions, and he's been running better routes. And 2, he got humbled. And I think when you have a young guy that's had some of the problems that Michael's had, when you have those humbling experiences, you learn from them. And Norv, was criticized for not disciplining him, but you can't get any better discipline than going in and having to face your own players.
Ryan Mitchell has checked in for Washington on third down, and they throw the ball his way. Not catchable, and Washington will punt it away.
And Gus has had problems this year. One thing he's had a problem with is his accuracy. He's been up and down in his accuracy. And, last week I heard it, and I heard it again just here. There's some grumbling at Frerotte. When he makes those bad throws, the Redskins fans don't like it.
3 straight incompletions for Gus Frerotte, and Matt Turk will kick to Eddie Kennison. He's been battling injuries, shoulders, hamstring, groin injuries. And the Rams punt return ranks dead last in the NFL, 30th. Westbrook this time makes the catch, and down he goes. Scott Turner sprints downfield and wraps him up. A 50
in the league in points allowed. That's amazing. That's quite a tribute to him and the things he's done. And he's done it, like I said, everywhere he's been. He did it in New York Giants last year as well. I think the most he's ever given up on an average a year is a little over 20.
Rams trailing by a touchdown. Washington showing blitz, and flags are thrown.
Well, you know who that's going to be on. I think that's going to be on the center. Grudadoria looked like he moved a little bit early. And that snap count, they were creeping up there on the line. They were going to blitz.
On the center, number 60.
Yeah, they got him. The hard count was coming. Now watch everybody creep up in here like they're coming. Now watch Grudadoria, the center. He moves, and the ball doesn't. And then, nice work by the umpire for seeing that. A lot of times when it gets crowded around the line of scrimmage like that and everybody's coming, the guy inside, sometimes those centers can just flinch the ball a little bit or do something. I didn't like that.
Grudadoria in his second year out of the University of Central Florida. Now from the 13. On first down. Jerald Moore sweeps, and he's hit hard. Falls forward, coming across the 15 out to the 17-yard line. A gain of 4.
Jerald Moore, he's the guy that they're banking on to do something. They had the problem with Phillips, and he's gone, and now he's the guy. And Dick Vermeil says he's a hard worker, he's a hard runner, he's a load, he's a heavy guy. But the thing about it is, to me, is last week on the goal line down there, they had chances to get it in, and they didn't. And to me, it's like you're auditioning for a play or something. You're auditioning. You've got to prove that you can get that ball in the end zone to win a game down there if you're going to be the man.
Amply in the game for the Rams. They come this way. And the short completion to Isaac Bruce, who makes his first catch of the afternoon, is out to the 22-yard line in front of Stanley Richard, the free safety.
Now, Isaac Bruce, he's had an up-and-down season. Here he is in the slot. He's going to run a little out pattern here. But he's been up and down. Primarily started the season off slow with the hamstring injury. They didn't get up to speed. Then when he came back to speed, Kennison was hurt on the other side. This is actually only the second or third game that these two guys have been healthy, Kennison and Bruce. And I think a lot is expected out of these two guys because of the numbers they've put up in the past.
Third down following the gain of 5. Bruce in motion. And it's batted down, incomplete at the line of scrimmage by Rich Owens. Big number 96.
And again, I mean, it's a third down thing. You've got to be able to move the chains in order to win in this league. At 29% third down completion, just can't cut it. Watch 96 right here. Gets his big hand up there as he's rushing the passer. And that's what you're taught to do. You get to the level of the quarterback and get your hands up.
First punt today by Mike Horan sent Mitchell's way 59 yards. Rams are 3 and out a second straight time. Jeff Robinson snaps it to Horan. Again, very high. Mitchell will have a return from the 31. He's not going anywhere.
Boy, great coverage.
First man down was David Thompson. Made the stop here. Here come the Redskins once again. A rainy day in Washington.
Ought to be in that mix as well, shouldn't he? Yeah, that's a clown.
I'm Paul Kennedy. Here come the Redskins leading by a touchdown. Wrapped up is Terry Allen. Again, another stop by Robert Jones, who is playing well at the outset of this football game. The former Dallas Cowboy, nearing the century mark for the 4th straight year in tackles.
Watch Joe Patton right here. Right here. Watch him. Now, remember they ran his play to the other side as well? And watch him close this down. Terry Allen's had a little bit of a problem, I think, of finding the right hole this year when he's been healthy. I saw it twice now today. He's made the wrong decisions, and I think it's hurt him also in the prior weeks.
They have lost the length of the football. Here comes Allen. He'll lose more. Back to the 25-yard line. Roman Pfeiffer, the outside linebacker, dropped him for a loss on that play, and Washington is headed in the wrong direction.
He didn't have a choice that time. I mean, there was no choice to make this time. This is Pfeiffer. He's just going to come right through here. Squeeze that thing down, and Bowie actually gets too far up into the line of scrimmage before he picks up his blocker. Bowie, of course, missed last week with the ankle injury. And then when you're playing Bud Carson's defense, you know that there's going to be guys flying around. Every other play, something else is going to happen different.
Third down. 14 yards to go. Frerotte throws. Asher can't make the catch in traffic at midfield. He was surrounded just off his fingertips. And it's 4th down. Keith Lyle was there.
You know, that's a tough catch to make. I'm surprised he's shaking it off right now. He's trying to shake the cobwebs out. But when you're running down the middle in this defense, don't think you're not aware of those two safeties. That ball hit his hands, and he came down, and he was looking for Lyle and Wright, because those two safeties have a reputation of knocking the dog out of you.
Eddie Kennison, a second time. The punt by Matt Turk. Backing up Kennison from his 17-yard line. And he cannot get away to the 21-yard line. Trying to get away from Darrell Pounds, the fine special teams player, number 30. Deep down the sideline for Isaac Bruce, and it's batted away by Darrell Green.
That's the way you play cornerback in this league. That's the way he's done it for 15 years, and that's why he's one of the best. He's running step for step with Isaac Bruce, who many consider to be one of the top flight receivers in this league. And watch him, man-to-man coverage, and he still knows where the ball is at, and he still jumps and times it perfectly. Bruce never has an opportunity to get a hand on it. A lot of times when you play man-to-man coverage on a receiver downfield, you don't have the opportunity to know where the ball is. Darrell Green did.
The 6-time Pro Bowl selection. The fine play there. Ironhead in the game. Washington with a lot of men in the box, and St. Louis did not get the play on.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense.
The play clocks here, Jack Kent Cooke Stadium, are in a different position than normally when they're down on the field. They're up very, very high on these scoreboards.
Well, you know, still, that wasn't a product of Tony Banks. That's a product of not getting the play called in time into the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. That was not an exceptionally long snap count. They just were in the huddle too long that time.
Plays come down from the coordinator, Jerry Rome. Will Fuhrer radios them in, the third quarterback for the Rams. Gerald Moore to the 20-yard line, surrounded by Redskins. Pickup of 2. It's 3rd and 13 for Moore. Began the year at about 2 1/4. Right now, Bill, they say he's closer to 240.
Yeah, the guys on the team, they call him Don Nottingham.
The old Colt?
Yeah, that's what they're called. They call him Nottingham because of his size.
Torrance Small becomes the 3rd receiver.
Wide receiver.
Lee's out there as well. Enjoyed an outstanding year individually. Thanks. Hit as he releases. It'll be incomplete.
And he's slow getting up.
Lang and Harvey.
He hasn't finished the last 2 games, Paul, because he's been taking hits all year long.
Holding his right elbow this time. And again, the pressure from Washington.
They haven't been able to get anything going, their run or their passing game, because of the offensive line.
Again, Horan, the 3rd straight 3 and out for the Rams, finds Horan off the snap, getting it away, the left footer. Al Mitchell again with an opportunity at a return. Number 30 from his 30-yard line. And a 10-yard return out to the 40. Washington leading 7 out to midfield, or close to it, is Keith Lyle. The intended receiver, Alvin Harper, and Keith Lyle grabs his 5th interception of the season.
And Gus gets booed again. You know, Gus is in a tough predicament, I think, because they ask him to throw the ball downfield. And in this offense, they want to get big chunks of yardage. The receivers have nice averages of 18, 19 yards a clip, so they're demanding him to throw the ball downfield. But yet at the same time, they're asking him not to make interceptions, which is a tough thing to do when you're going downfield. And I knew that streak was going to come to an end sooner or later.
Banks able to return to action for St. Louis after being shaken up. Win sacked. And following the turnover, Jerald Moore for a 1st down.
For their first down. That's the first down the Rams have gotten today. And you look at this team and you talk about them not winning. They haven't won outside, in a stadium outside, since 1995. This team has got to learn to win on the road. Now, I want you to watch. This is what he doesn't see. He doesn't see the safety right here. He sees some beat down the middle, but he did not see Lyle coming across the field. Keith Lyle is having a great year in free safety.
Amply, top of your screen, on 1st down. Throwing to Lee. He snares the pass, and he's to the 24-yard line. Listed as a running back, he leads the Rams in receptions this season.
To me, this guy is their best player. He's their most productive player. I don't see why you take him off the field. Now, he's a running back, but they have the versatility to split him out wide. Now, when you split him out wide, that puts pressure on the defense, because now you have 3 receivers. Do you treat him as a back and cover him with a linebacker, or do you go to your nickel package? They had the regular personnel in that time.
Following a gain of 15. Moore off the left side. Daylight inside the 15. End zone bound down to the 1. And it's 1st and goal, St. Louis. Jesse Campbell had to make the stop following a gain of 22 yards.
And they had the regular personnel out there again. Now, with the regular personnel, see, they got the 3 linebackers. So with that, along with 3 linebackers, that means there's 4 DBs. Now, the strong safety has to come over to take Amp Lee. So now that leaves them from preventing them from putting 8 men in the box. That's what's opening it up for them.
A 3 tight end set. 1st and goal, St. Louis. To Ironhead, who tries to go over the top.
Yeah, well, see, they've learned something from last week. When they fell short down here in Carolina and had a chance to win the game from the 3-yard line at the end of the game, they didn't use Ironhead. Now they're trying to get the big Ironhead Heyward in the mix of things where you pound the middle. And I think that's what you have to do with the Redskins. You have to pound their defensive line with the Ironhead.
That is the end of the 1st quarter of play. Norv Turner, his team leading by a touchdown. Frerotte throwing to his fullback. And now the Rams look to answer as we head to the 2nd quarter on Fox. 1-0, but St. Louis following the interception. Now 2nd and goal inside the 2. Jerald Moore, Craig Heyward. Behind Banks, it will be Moore. Lowering his head, he did not get it. And a flag is down, too. A week ago in the Dome, 4 shots inside the 2 failed to produce a touchdown in a game they could have won against the Panthers.
Well, you look at the area down there, and that used to be Lawrence Phillips' area. What do you had, 8 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and a lot of them were right down in there. When they got down there, he was able to
number
find a way in the
54
end zone.
lined up in the neutral zone. That's half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
Where 3 feet makes all the difference in the world. Down pressed up against your own goal line.
So they get a shot at it again on second down.
Gonna get more to 3 tight end set. Ironhead to lead the way. Fumble on the play. Banks scoops it up, and he'll be dropped for a loss all the way back to his 8-yard line.
Oh, boy. Yeah, and Rams fans will have a field day with that. When you talk about fumbles and you talk about Tony Banks and St. Louis, those things go hand in hand, and they've about reached their point with it. They can't accept it anymore.
Lamont Evans, number 35. Watch him come through.
He just never gets a hand on it. He just never gets his hands on the ball when he pulls out.
And now back, they'll mark the ball just outside the 7. It's 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line, and the Rams' struggles continue in the red zone. In the mist, and a flag. Delay a game, the preliminary signal. Remember a few weeks ago in Lambeau Field?
Delay game. Offense.
The Rams struggling just to execute against the Packers. And here comes some of those same problems again. Now this team was inside the 2-yard line, and now all the way back out here. Throwing over the middle, tipped, incomplete. Batted away. Well, the pass intended for Amp Lee.
Bob Williams.
And the field goal unit's going to have to come on. Watch Jamal here. He played linebacker at Nebraska, now a defensive back.
Well, he looks at his receiver all the way in. He never takes his eyes off Amp Lee.
So the rookie with a big play.
And Jeff Wilkins has struggled.
This from 30 yards. Out of the hole of Keith Lyon. And the St. Louis Rams have their first points of the afternoon, but it's just a field goal, a consolation prize. It could have been a touchdown. 7-3 Washington. Afternoon. And now Wilkins kicking off again short. Mitchell, now Davis steps in front of him. 15-yard line. Bottom of the ball breaks out to the 29-yard line. A return of 16-yard grip in first place in the NFC East. On first down run, Terry Allen off tackle and into the arms of Keith Lyle, who has an interception today.
Somebody's laying down the ground there.
It is a Ram shaken up back at the 29-yard line.
That's Bill Johnson. I'll tell you, he took a shot in here. Watch Bill Johnson in the gap here. Watch Dahl come down and just blow this thing up. This opens it up. Watch. He gets pushed right at him. He was a guy on the street, and he's come in here and played very well for the Rams defense.
Biggest biceps in Rams blue. Jeff Scanita, number 90, will take Johnson's place and play alongside DeMarco Farr. On second down, Allen stacked up just shy, about a yard shy of the first down marker to set up third down. He picked up 3 there, and it was a Scanita just onto the field who they ran right at. He was able to make the play.
Well, the Redskins are going to rush the ball no matter what. I mean, that's one thing they've got to do. As Sharp Radonis checks into the game now as the extra blocker on the short yardage group.
Need a yard. On third down, Allen lowers his head.
Whoa.
St. Louis does not think he made it.
No, I don't think it doesn't look like it from here anyway.
Unpile him.
Well, it depends on where they spot that ball.
Ryan McNeil clapping his hands. Irv Turner wondering if he has to send on his punt unit as you check out other scores around the NFL today.
Well, and to me, this is where Washington has to take over a game. They've got that big physical offensive line. They've got to be able to use it. They've got to be able to convert. down the stretch here, all these guys have been hurt at one point in time, but they're all back in the positions that they originally wanted. Russ Grimm, the offensive line coach, had to have them move around a little bit. They're short. But to win these games down the stretch, I think this offensive line is the ones that have to make the choice here that they're going to get it done.
There is Russ Grimm, offensive line coach. Remember the legendary Hogs?
Yeah, and he can't be happy with what he just saw. Because when he played, he and Jacoby and Bostic, those guys, they got those yards. And he'll be the first to tell you how important it is. And that can be the outcome of a game, those little things like that.
Eddie Kinnison set to receive this punt once again from Matt Turk, his brother, and Dan Turk. Snap it to him. We're close to the 30. Good hang time. Fair catch called for, backpedaling inside the 10-yard line. Kinnison off balance, able to make the sure-handed grab. That was difficult. Looking up into that rain. 7-3 Redskins. All the Rams now in possession. Banks, the late handoff. Out to the 10-yard line for Jerald Moore out of Oklahoma. A gain of 3 on the play, setting up second down.
You know, the defensive tackle position for the Redskins is one that's been ailing all year long. For them, it's really hurt them all year.
29 against the rush in the National Football League, and we're talking about 30 teams. And Jerald Moore out close to the 20. Let's go out to Hollywood, check up on the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's JB.
All right, Paul and Bill.
55 yards in the first half. Has been very effective, and now Amp Lee will be in the game, and David Thompson in your screen 2. Split backs, third down. Banks to throw from his 5. Has a receiver in Lee for a first down. And Amp is rolled out of bounds upfield at the 23-yard line. This former 49er and Viking, who they picked up about the 3rd week of training camp, has really been outstanding this year for St. Louis.
Boy, the corners really covered nice this time. On this side, it was Dishman. And Dishman on Kennison. And that's a matchup the Redskins like, because Chris Dishman is a physical cornerback. And on the other side, Darrell Green's been doing it all year long for 15 years. And they had to take the underneath to Amp Lee.
Thompson will get the carry. And he is jacked up at the line of scrimmage at the 22-yard line. And driven by. Back there was Jamal Duff, who hit him first out of San Diego State, playing behind the injured, shaking up Kennard line.
You know, you look at the size of David Thomas. Look how small he is. Look at him standing next to Orlando Pace. And he looks like a fidget in there.
A rookie free agent and David Thompson out of Oklahoma State, same program that produced that running back for Detroit.
Yeah, Barry Sanders. And he says he has a little bit in him. And the fact that he's a very elusive running back. And Dick Vermeil was anxious to get him in to the game plan as well. But that running back position at Lawrence Field, I think they'd try anybody back there.
Thompson still back there. Now out in the pattern. Singing the ball downfield, incomplete for Isaac Bruce. And Darrell Green was right with him over the middle.
But I'll tell you, that ball was on the money. And that ball was thrown off his back foot. He was throwing it off balance. Now watch, it hits him right in the hands. Now he was looking at Richardson right here. He was looking at Stanley Richardson, seeing where he's going to be. Watch Isaac Bruce take his eyes off the ball. Watch him right here. He's going to look back. Oh, it was right before that. He looked back to see where the safety was and then lost sight of the ball.
Banks throws again. This time it's caught. Good, tough grab by Bruce at the 35-yard line for a first down with Jesse Campbell draped on him. Just his 2nd reception, though, of the afternoon.
Well, you know Isaac Bruce. Remember the Atlanta game? Down in Atlanta, he had all those yards. Well, since that game,
Torrance Small in, Eddie Kinnison this way too. Play action, Banks on the roll where he is dangerous. And he unloads the deep ball. Throwing for Torrance Small, who had to come back, and it's incomplete. Stanley Richard was there, was underthrown.
You know, there's a lot of guys in white shirts down there where the ball was just thrown.
Now second down.
Unless you can get a pass interference call.
And 10. Banks the short drop quickly to the sidelines, and Bruce has another grab. Again, let's update you on what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. A McDonald's game break. Here's JB.
Oh, they do, and I tell you, they're going to make a push down here to win that division. They want the AFC West. They want to play at home through the playoffs.
This would be their 10th win of the season. Third down here. The Rams want just their third of the year. Banks throws for Asher, or rather Ernie Conwell, the tight end, who we have not heard from today. And it's incomplete.
They have got to convert on third down.
Waiting the snap from Jeff Robinson. And the left footer. I did not hit this well at all. Out of bounds at the Redskin 35-yard line. He hooked that one into his own bench, just 23 yards by the veteran and Mike Horan. Fine fit. Frerotte with a touchdown pass to his fullback Bowie in the first quarter. Now feels the pressure and down he goes. Sacked back at the 27. Let's go down to the field. Brett Haber has a report on Dick Corey, who was shaking up. Brett.
Yeah, guys, well, you saw Dick Corey get knocked on the sideline. He hit his head. He went down hard. They've been giving him smell.
All right, Brett.
They cut a piece of your helmet out. All kinds of head injuries between these two teams, isn't there?
Been a physical first half. Some self-inflicted. Here's Bowie. That touchdown pass already. He ran it to the far side. This time a first down carry out to the 49. 19-yard pickup.
He's a load. Larry Load. And that's a heck of a nickname. He looks like a load coming out of the backfield. You know, one thing Gus likes slides up the line of scrimmage.
Near midfield. The handoff to Allen, who is upended. So he came across the line of scrimmage by Brian Robinson, the rookie free agent tackle. Flipped him up. And the word on Jerald Moore, who was shaken up earlier, that he has suffered a mild concussion, and that would certainly hurt the St. Louis rushing attack if he is unable to return.
Bill Johnson has a bruised calf. He's back in the game right now. He just came in off the sidelines.
On second down, toss sweep. Allen. Some interference up front himself. Pulling around, leading the way. Ed Simmons, 12-year veteran, offensive tackle.
You know, it's apparent that the Redskins obviously felt that a weakness for the Rams is outside. They felt they liked their matchup with their tight ends on their linebackers, their outside linebackers, who are smallish. When you're talking about Mike Jones and Roman Pfeiffer, they're in the 240, 245-pound category, and you can see that the running plays are all been at the off-tackle position.
Henry Eller, top of your screen on third down. Frerotte underneath, incomplete.
That's Pfeiffer.
Pass intended for Brian Mitchell, and Pfeiffer swatted at it.
Yeah, you talked about those smallish linebackers, but the one thing those two guys can do is they can cover. They're good cover linebackers. There's a lot of speed there on that defensive side of the ball. Not a lot of size, but a lot of speed.
So with 5:29 remaining, here comes Matt Turk, punt. And kicking to Eddie Kennison. See if he can kill this inside the 20-yard line. Put about 4 of those last Sunday night against the Giants. Close to the goal line, out of bounds. This one bounds at the 10 and will be down at the 3-yard line. For the Redskins, Darryl Pounds let it bounce right up to him. It happened last week, almost in the same spot of the field. Look at Pounds. Close to 30 years later. Rams coming off their own goal line. And it's Ironhead. Rarely see banging his way out to the 6-yard line. And again, Jerald Moore, shaken up, is out of the game. Stanley Richard on the stop.
You know, talking to Dick Vermeil, too, he said next year, remember he had over 1,000 yards, went to the Pro Bowl as a running back down in Atlanta.
Yep, 2 years ago. Needs to get his weight down. They're always talking about his weight. Thompson fumbles the football. And the Rams go and get it. The guard and Zach Weegar pounced on it.
Mark Boutte was the one who stripped that. Watch Mark Boutte, 93, come in here. Nobody picks him up. And then he gets a hand on the ball right there. Misses the player, but gets a hand on the ball. Heads up play by Weegar, 72. Well, you know, the reason he was looking back, you know why he was looking back and knew it was a fumble? Because he missed his block.
It's raining rather intently now. And noisy in the end zone. Third down. Banks against the blitz. Gets it out of there. Incomplete, though. Upfield at the 20-yard line, intended for Eddie Kennison, who can't make the play. Chris Dishman was right there defensively.
Yeah, it's funny. They have Dishman over there. They wanted that matchup, Washington. Washington wanted to afford the luxury of bringing an extra man up around the line of scrimmage to help this defense out where it hurts the most against the run.
An 8-man Redskin rush against Haran. He hit that very, very well. Brian Mitchell from his 41-yard line. Trying to pick up the wall at midfield. Cuts it back to the 39-yard line.
And the Rams coverage team still struggling.
Jeff Robinson on the
in coverage.
While the Redskins have an opportunity to put another score on the board prior to intermission.
Oh, Bowie. Does anybody see a resemblance to Rigo here?
The Diesel. Now you've got Boo as you hear the crowd, and Bowie.
Watch, this is a quick hit in fullback belly right up the gut. Handoff.
2 seasons past, only 3 starts in college for Georgia. And the Rams jump.
You know what?
The hard count perhaps brought him over.
And that's the second time they got to Marco Farr on the hard count.
Marco Favre wearing number 75. Belonged to a member of the Hall of Fame for the Rams franchise.
On the defense, number 75.
And he's a jumpy kind of player. Coach Vermeil said, you know, if you hiccup around him in there, he'll jump. Here's 75, right? He wanted to wear his college number 75, and he had to ask Deacon Jones if he could do it.
Deacon said yes. And Bowie again with some pushing and shoving after the play. The ball is down to the 25-yard line. As the rushing attack for Washington has faded a bit since the opening possession for North Turner.
Well, then they've got to take over the game. I talked about the Hogs and those guys. They've got to take over the game. They got the short field here on this punt when they had the Rams backed up. They've got to march it down here and score.
Play action for Frerotte. Stands up, looks, throws, incomplete, intended for Henry Ellard, who is yet to make a reception today, and Ellard says he was held on
from the first down. Since then, they have not gotten the ball to the wide receivers.
Westbrook to the far side. Third down. Passing situation again for Frerotte. The ball tapped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. And the field goal unit will be trotted on.
And the Boo Birds are out in the offense, and they should.
Well, the Rams able to mount a rush here and put the pressure on Frerotte.
That offensive line has to do a better job. That was Bill Johnson, 79, who batted the ball. But these are the guys. You have 4 games to go in the season. You have a chance to win the division, and you have got to get something done here. These guys are back. They're playing. They're healthy. They've got to take charge.
Scott Blanton has kicked 1 field goal, or pardon me, has not kicked a field goal today. Missed 2 last week. And that tie with New York, this from 43 with the distance, and he's knocked it home. So a bright moment and a long year so far for Scott Blanton, and it's a 10-3 football game, advantage Washington. Of course, Robert F. Kennedy Stadium, home of the Skins from 1961 until last year. Very impressive. They were able to build this stadium, Bill, in 16 months. A record construction time here, and a crowd of more than 70,000 fans on hand this afternoon, including
they did get this thing up pretty fast.
yeah, really. Usually takes about, well, 3.5 years is the projected timeline for the stadium in Baltimore. An hour and a half north of here. The kickoff to David Thompson. They get a very short kick from his 10-yard line. Thompson spins out of a tackle and now sprints upfield to the 40-yard line. He's at midfield and shoved out of bounds in Redskin territory, and a flag is down on the far side of the field. Scott Turner got him for the Redskins. See what the flag is about following the return of 42 yards.
They got a hold
against St. Louis. Dick Vermeil's Rams, the most penalized team in football, and we have seen evidence of that throughout our first half today.
You know, I think one of the things that the Rams wanted from last year's organization was more discipline.
Holding, number 22. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
I thought that
First
they had
down.
enough talent there last year, but one of the big emphasis was they wanted discipline. Year long. And the players find themselves. Yeah, that's huge. That's unbelievable. The players have a fine system set up amongst themselves. And we used to get it all the time by the team. Even in practice during the week. If you man a penalty, you got to fine during the week.
Goes into a player's pool. Banks swings it out to Ampley. Lee across the 40. Scoots up with a first down to the Ram 43-yard line. Very close to it. It's a pickup of 13. Banks hooking up with Lee. Darrell pounds in coverage.
Ampley has been the most productive player on the Rams offense. And you know what's amazing? He was out on the street too. He was like Bill Johnson. He was out on the street. Minnesota had waived him. They didn't pick him up till about the third week of training camp. And this guy's the most productive. And now he's forced to play because Jerald Moore's out. They should have this guy playing all the time.
On first down with the rain falling. Banks throws for Bruce. Coming back, and he can't make the catch against Darrell Green. What a duel going there, and at the moment, Darrell Green, the 6-time Pro Bowler, is getting the benefit.
Helping the team out. You like effort like that.
You wanted to play him last week. He got knocked out early against Carolina. Bruce steps up and throws, and it's dropped by Torrance Small. Hit him right in the hands at midfield. Just dropped the football.
Well, yeah, you catch the ball, Dick says. That's right, catch the ball. And he looks at those gloves. And a lot of times when he's got this mist falling and you're playing with a new football, new football is really slick. They're slick. They got that silicone-like on it, protective stuff. And that ball's like grease sometimes. But you know what? Nobody in the stands cares, and no fans care watching this. They want that ball caught.
Saw the numbers on Darrell Green. It's third down. Banks takes his time and throws. This time Small able to make the first down catch. It hit him right in the chest. It's inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. And an injury-filled first half as we hear from Brett Heyward.
You're right, guys. Updating the Redskins side of things, Redskins defensive back Darrell Pounds has a bruised left shoulder. He will be back in the second half. And on the Rams side, tight end Ernie Conwell has a bruised lower back. He's out for at least the rest of the half, possibly the rest of the game. Back up to you.
So you lose the tight end Conwell and Jerald Moore.
It's amazing how easily you bruise after you eat a big Thanksgiving dinner that week.
Both these teams practicing on Thursday, and now here is St. Louis. Banks, wheeling, throwing, broken up, incomplete. Yeah, Green is there on the collision. He arrived with the football, and shaken up is Isaac Bruce.
This guy is the most competitive guy there is going. He does not stop. He competes every day at practice, all the time. Watch this timing right.
The Rams in the first half. Second down. Try it again. Banks throws right down the middle. Lee is there. Lee darting for the end zone to pull the Rams within a point of tying this game at halftime. 36 yards against Dishman.
And I'll go back and tell you again, he's the most productive player on the Rams offense. He should be playing all the time.
Ampley leads all running backs in receptions in the National Football League this season, and that's evidence of that. 36 yards right between the hashes, Bill, and then darting for the corner.
Right between that zone defense. There's a nice ball, too, by Banks.
Jeff Wilkins on to tie this game with 1 minute and 19 seconds remaining in our first half. The Rams have hung in there. And the extra point Nazis at 10 aside as Tony Banks is connected with his most effective offensive weapon through 2 quarters of play in number 31.
There he is right here.
The road this year have dropped 8 straight and haven't won outside, Bill,
since 95.
1995. And the bounce to Brian Mitchell in the downpour. Working his way shy of and now falls forward at the 20-yard line on the stop by Todd Light. Coming up on our Dockers Khakis halftime report, JD, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie will bring you all the scores and highlights wearing the Parkers. Frerotte opened our scoring with a touchdown pass to Bowie. Throws on first down, and it's incomplete to Westbrook. And you're right, they are grumbling here in Washington. Norv Turner knowing that with 4 weeks to go, 3 after this, his team can win the division. They have yet to be in the playoffs since 1992.
Well, yeah, he's going to have a talk with them at halftime and rededicate themselves here, because they started out with some nice play and they looked like they had some urgency, but now they look like they've lost that urgency. Offensively, they had a short field. They couldn't convert a touchdown out of it. And defensively, they let Rams back in the game.
On 2nd and 10, Gus has hit just one of his last 10 through the air. This is batted up into the air, and it is picked off. The Rams will have the ball with a minute to play. Batted by Johnson and caught by McClendon.
Bill Johnson got the rush right up the middle of the field, and that's his second batted pass. And that one resulted in an interception.
The second interception of Frerotte in the first half.
Like I said, this isn't a team that looks like it's playing with a bunch of urgency. Right past Jeff Ulnake, he gets his hand on the ball. That's great effort by Bill Johnson.
And it's the rookie and McCleon, number 24, who catches it on his knees. Just comes back to it. Make sure he has it. Look at the Rams. They could lead at the break. Banks on first down. Throws quickly to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Now they got a hand in there to Dishman. He wanted that, didn't he? Kennison, the intended receiver. If that's a second late, Dishman might run out of the end zone.
Den's hurt, who was a real effective for him last couple weeks.
Bad back.
And now you've got Amp Lee and David Thompson in receiver. You've got to make it work.
And here's Banks. He'll take the sack. And out of field goal range, too.
Oh.
And that's the worst part of that.
Get rid of the ball. Do not take the sack there. There was some unbelievable coverage downfield. Again, Kennison, Bruce, they could not get off the blocks. Pounds has them. Dishman has them down here. And over on the other side, it's Green on Kennison, Dishman on Kennison. They're all covered up. There's no place to go for Banks, but don't take the sack.
And Ken Harvey, the linebacker, coming, number 57.
Get rid of it.
And you see Rich Owens, too. And now this
kind of coverage and enable that extra couple seconds for your defensive lineman to apply the rush. That's why it's a bend, but they don't break defense. They may bend a little bit in the middle of the field, but with those corners, they don't break.
Banks on third down needs a quarter of this football field. He's all the way back at his 47. Throws downfield, and that is caught by Small inside the 25 to the 24. He doesn't have the first down. St. Louis takes the timeout, but they are in field goal range with half a minute to go. Longest outdoors this year, 51 in San Francisco. This to give the Rams the lead late with plenty of leg. And he hooked it left.
His problems continue.
And for Dick Vermeil, he said that his kicker has just gone south on him.
Well, that's why he was a little bit hesitant down there. He wasn't sure if he should put him out there in that situation.
The game. Now, what can Frerotte do? He throws underneath.
Get out of bounds.
And it's caught by Mitchell up to the 40-yard line, and the Redskins will burn one of their timeouts with 23 ticks of the clock left. As you look at Banks. Second down. Frerotte throwing underneath again, has Mitchell trying to get to the boundary, and he does. Upfield at the 46 with 17 seconds left. Jim Hannafin, a former. Scott Blanton's best field goal of his career is of 53 yards. Backside pressure, Frerotte throws. Mitchell makes the tough grab at midfield and is immediately dropped by Mike Jones, the linebacker, with 9 seconds to go. Frerotte throwing behind Mitchell. And it's incomplete with 5 seconds to go. Mitchell was open. I don't know if he would have been able to do any damage, though, against the Rams before the final 5 seconds expired. Another case of Frerotte throwing behind him.
Well, he had some pressure in his face again, too. But Gus has struggled with his accuracy this season. But today, he's been a product of having a lot of people draped around him.
And the defense this year for Dick Vermeil, again, we will reiterate, There is more right than wrong with the Rams on that side of the football. Final play of the first half. Frerotte steps up and airs it out for the end zone, hoping for a tip, a late score. It's incomplete. A lot of bodies down there. That's what they wanted, hoping to get the miraculous touchdown. Norv inside his 10, quickly out to the 20-yard line, and he slips forward out from the 26 out to the 29-yard line. And from that position, here come the Rams once again. Let's update you on all that's been going on. Injuries here. Let's check in with Brett Heyward.
All right, guys, it's unfortunately for the Rams all on their side of the ball. Jerald Moore has the minor concussion. He is going to be back in play. Tight end Ernie Conwell, bruised lower back. He's going to try to warm up and get in there. He's not sure how it's going to feel after the break at halftime. You know you're in bad shape when your coach has an injury. Dick Corey, a minor concussion, the wide receivers coach. He's fine and back on the sidelines. Back up to you.
All right, Brett. 1st and 10 for Tony Banks, who remains in the game. Isaac Bruce in motion, fumbles the football on the first snap of the second half, and goes and gets it back himself. His problems continue with his center, Mike Grudadoria. That's the second time that's occurred today. Recovered both mistakes on snaps. On second down, the pitch to Jerald Moore, back into the game after suffering what is reported to be a slight concussion.
When you run that hard, you know, you'll get concussions. Did you hear that? Did you hear the noise and that impact?
Marcus Patton after the football defensively for Washington.
Yeah, Jesse Campbell was up there too. And you know, when you get those situations when you have a back that runs hard, I mean, it's better to be the hammer than the nail. And that time Jesse Campbell was the nail.
Ball attendants going to have to be on their toes here. It's absolutely pouring. Third down. Quickly there to third down for the Rams. Banks with a lot of time, and now here's where he's dangerous.
And this is what Washington fears most.
And he takes on the tackler at midfield. He did not go down, and Stanley Richard goes head-to-head with him, but he did not try to avoid Richard whatsoever.
Well, I like that because I like that. But Dick Vermeil isn't going to like that. And you know what that's a product of? That's a product of fumbles. That's a product of getting hit all the time when you're trying to throw. That's a product of your receivers not being open. He says, heck, he's getting frustrated. He's going to take it to somebody.
Maybe the longest rush today for St. Louis of 23 yards it is. And it's first down in Redskin territory. Here comes Moore. He lowers his head, slips out of a tackle. And that's a gain of about 3.5. Marv Cass Patton on the stop. They call him, you said, Don Nottingham.
Yeah, that's what they call him. You see Tony's hands. He stays in there a little longer. And you see him, look at Nottingham lower his head.
Gets leverage there. Gets under him.
Well, you get your head down there in somebody's stomach, you know, they're going to give. They're going to give ground.
He missed the first 7 games with elbow problems, injured at preseason. He really wants to play. The Rams really want to win. Haven't done so but once since opening day.
3 receivers up top.
Old Covey out that way, and Banks hunting there, throws, and Ampley cannot hold on. Harvey, the linebacker, was with him. A chunk of this Jack Kent Cooke Stadium turf remains on that Ram helmet.
Hey, he's got to get that out. Here's Conwell on the line of scrimmage. Then there's Ampley. And
Ampley offset back. Jerald Moore out of the game. Third down. Torrance Small, the receiver in that cover. Banks the short drop. The blitz was on, and it's in and out of the hands of Isaac Bruce. Perhaps tapped by Darrell Green.
Should have been caught. Isaac Bruce, I guarantee, isn't happy with his performance today. Darrell Green's been all over him. He's had the ball in his hand. He's had opportunities to make catches and hasn't made them. And he's a guy that
season with the high snap, trying to kill it deep. Running up, here's Mitchell. Takes on tacklers at the 20-yard line. He was not shy. A short 28-yard punt with touch. Gus Frerotte will try to get out of his funk. We're tied 10-all. Afternoon against St. Louis. On first down, Terry Allen dropped in his own backfield, taken down for a loss by Kevin Carter. And it's second down. And Allen a bit slow getting up as Carter made the play, the former first-round pick out of the University of Florida.
Well, he just shoots in here and blows this thing up. Watch right here. He slants inside underneath the block of Bob Dahl, the guard. And you can see that's where he gets hurt right there. Bill Johnson comes in and has him twisted up a little bit. Down the push. Now's when they got to come together and take control, especially this weather. This is hog weather.
Bowie, the fullback, play action. Frerotte throws underneath, does to Davis, and Davis has the first down. A most important play for Washington. Davis just in, and it's a gain of 15 from Frerotte.
Well, watch what they do.
Touchdown today on a similar play to the one we just saw, and Bowie is off to the sideline. It cost him first two plays. They've lost two running backs.
James Jenkins checks in at fullback.
Asher in motion. They give off the near right side. Stephen Davis broke one tackle, not a second. Roman Pfeiffer there, 58. There's a Roman Gabriel. Two Romans now. We got a Roman Pfeiffer in Ram colors.
Well, here comes Toby Wright. Watch Toby Wright, the strong safety, come up, and he's going to get driven off. Stephen Davis breaks his arm tackle and keeps his feet moving, and then a host of Rams tacklers come in there to finish it off. But this possession, the first and second possession after halftime, is where the Rams defense has yielded a bunch of points. They've struggled right after halftime. They've given up 81 points on the first or second possession after halftime to opposing teams.
Frerotte, three-step drop. He pumps once, tried to avoid the sack, cannot. The 31-yard line. Jeff Scanina, number 90.
That's his second sack of the day. That's
Off
number
the
2 for
bench.
Jeff.
He's been huge for the Rams.
He's huge, period. You know, he was in Pittsburgh with the Steelers. He was down in Carolina. Watch his push right there. He splits the guard and tackle and fights his way through, keeps working, and gets a wrap-up. And the reason that was able to happen, too, is because Ryan McNeil stayed in coverage. Gus tried to pump fake to make McNeil bite. McNeil didn't bite downfield. He stayed with the receiver.
Scanina did not have a sack coming into this game. He has a pair this afternoon.
Well, that's the way they come. Sacks are kind of like interceptions. I mean, they just come in bunches. Ken Harvey had 4 last week.
And timeout for Frerotte. He did not call timeout before a flag was thrown. It's delay of game. Let's see if it costs him the timeout as well.
Signaled for a timeout. We had delay of game on the offensive team. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
No, they will not be charged with the timeout. He was calling it to avoid the penalty, which he can.
You know, and I think around Washington area, I think one of the big things has been the discipline factor of this team. You know, plays like that. How come Michael Westbrook last week with the helmet incident? The different things that are costing them games.
Gus playing wall ball. Frerotte here. Hit. Flutters. Was it intercepted? No. Could not be caught before Todd Light got there. It hit the turf.
Bill
Light
Johnson
nearly
and
had
Leslie
another
O'Neal.
interception.
Leslie O'Neal got in there and had the pressure as Frerotte was thrown in. He's getting booed again. Well, for that matter, the whole offense is.
Takes
See the
quite a
loop
hit.
stunt? They got a little stunt going outside.
Leslie O'Neal in his 12th season buries Frerotte, and it did hit the turf. Bud Carson's defense playing fairly sound football. Very high snap to Matt Turk. Not a good punt. Takes a Redskin roll, will be scooped up. Here will come Kennison. Out to the 36-yard line.
You know,
Dan Turk nearly snapped it over his brother Mark's head. The coordinator of the Redskins now digging in against young Tony Banks, the quarterback for the Rams, on first down. Those hard counts did not draw Washington off. The blitz is on, and Banks throws, and it is caught. A one-handed effort by Ernie Conwell, the tight end, with his first catch of the afternoon. It's a gain of 25.
I like this kid Conwell. I mean, he's a guy that's a hard-working guy. He's undeceivingly quick. He doesn't look like a fast guy, but he is. He runs a nice route right here on Dishman. Watch the one-handed snag. That's a wet ball. It's a wet jersey. It's wet hands. And once he gets going, too, he's a tough load to bring down. He looks like a big fullback.
Out the Redskin 39 on first down. Toss sweep near side. Jerald Moore. Moore gashes the Redskins close to the first down marker. Let's get out to Hollywood. Here's JB. And McDonald's game break.
Paul and Bill.
Which team has a chance for the playoffs and which does not? going on there? Don't tell the Rams. Moore. First down, fumble. Ball is on the ground. St. Louis saying that the Rams maintain possession. Referee Larry Nimmer's crew sorting them out. Larry says yes, it's a St. Louis football on a wet day.
Well, here's the pitch. You know, you run those pitches with a wet ball and a wet rain. You have to make sure you take care of that thing. But right here is an arm tackle by William Gaines. He gets in there and strips that thing. And that's just a matter of a young running back having to know you've got to take care of the football. I mean, you're down here, you're running it, it's wet conditions. Cover that thing up. In these conditions, when you play smash mouth football, both hands should be on the ball all the time.
St. Louis driving on Washington. They pick up the blitz again. Banks for the end zone, throws it, batted away by Green.
Wow.
Against Isaac Bruce.
You know, they just keep going at him, thinking that one of these times he's going to get lulled to sleep here by running the ball. Look at Isaac Bruce says
Gerald Green 0 for 7. That's the finest corner ever to wear the burgundy and gold. Banks throws. This time they catch the ball on Darrell Green.
Well, you see what they had to do
then.
then.
The hands, they had to come back.
Yeah, Darrell's man. They had to come back at him. They said, you know, we're tired of going over top of them. Let's come back. He's going to take this up and slam on the brakes and come back. Right there, bang, and then it's over here.
The 8th attempt Green's way finally nets him. The catch of 7, setting up third and short.
Quarterback, I mean, you can't defend that. You give the offense that play right there.
Very fast third quarter, 6.5 minutes to go in it, and a tie football game. Banks stumbles away from center. Throws, caught again. Fighting down 2. The 5-yard line is Torrance Small, where it's 1st and goal, St. Louis.
Well, that was a nice
gain of
job.
15.
That was a nice job. They get in that situation right there, and Torrance Small comes in. He's a slot receiver. Now, the Skins go nickel, and Darrell Pounds is over top of him. Darrell Pounds was hurt a little bit earlier, and they went at him. They still look. See that shoulder? It's not moving. This arm over here is moving.
So Dishman now in coverage to the far side, man up. Stanley Richards defending, center of the field. Here comes Moore for the end zone. The Rams go out in front. Jerald, Moore, and the Rams ram the ball right at the Washington Redskins and lead midway through the third quarter. Moore with his first touchdown of the afternoon, the first rushing touchdown for either team as he powered over the left side.
I think the Rams we talked about earlier. I said, what do they have to do today? I mean, who cares where you are? Go out and have fun. Go out and put together drives and find a way to win a ball game. Winning is fun.
Wilkins on the extra point. Inside the right upright. It's 17-10. The first touchdown this season for Jerald Moore. And the Rams looking to end an 8-game losing streak. Lead by 7. Former Oklahoma Sooner and Moore, his first career touchdown. Can the Redskins respond? Brian Mitchell between the hashes. Out to the 34-yard line. Jeff Wilkins, the kicker, had to make the stop. What a drive by St. Louis, which now is on defense, and Washington must get going. And half in a must-win situation, a game behind the New York Giants in the NFC East. Now go on offense. 17-10 St. Louis, which has just marched down the field. Frerotte unloads and finds Larry Bowie back into the game, close to the first down marker. Bowie went out. What about Terry Allen? Let's check in with Brett Heyward.
Well, guys.
Absolutely. Asher, the tight end. It is a first down. And here comes Stephen Davis, a short gain of 1. And Bill, to reiterate the point, Henry Ellard and Michael Westbrook have been taken out of the game by St. Louis. Neither has put their hands on the football this afternoon.
Well, they're still in the game. They just don't have any catches.
Yeah, well, that needs to be made. That point needs to be made. They've not been a part of this offense.
Yeah.
Ellard did throw a block on Bowie's touchdown, but
And that's why I'm saying, that's why I could go back. I mean, this is the time of the year that your offensive line has to take over a game. If you're going to win the division, you've got to get it going now.
Frerotte on second down under pressure.
His arm got hit again. Bill Johnson, again, his arm has been hit probably 3 out of the last 4 times he's attempted to throw the ball.
Bill Johnson has had a huge game for St. Louis.
Boy, the play before that, Bill Johnson made a tackle. Now he comes in here on the rush. And see the spin move right here? Unloads on Frerotte. He's playing against Ulnig a lot, and Ulnig has that bad knee. He missed last week a little bit.
The center.
Didn't practice at all.
He's practicing only on Fridays, is Washington's number 55. Former Ohio State Buckeye, long-time Miami Dolphin. 3rd and 9. Here come those battering Rams on Frerotte. Down the middle, this is caught. Mitchell, first down. The Ram 25. And the emotions, the play clock ready to expire. Words with Ellard as he comes to the sideline late in the 3rd. Collectively.
Big catches has come from the backs. Bowie and Mitchell.
29-yarder a moment ago. The 12th completion for Frerotte in this game. But he has been pressured throughout the day. Here it comes again. That's batted down and ruled a fumble. Leslie O'Neal hit him from behind. O'Neal, who scored his first touchdown in 12 years last week, with pressure this time.
That's his 10th sack. Watch him turn the corner right here. He makes Joe Patton plant his feet, and Joe Patton never has a chance. That little shake at the line of scrimmage was enough for Patton to plant his feet and lunge forward, and then O'Neal was by him.
The 8th time in his career, Leslie O'Neal racked up double-digit sacks. Frerotte unloads in coverage, pass interference, flag thrown on Todd Light. The intended target was Ellard. Ellard's slow getting back to his feet.
Boy, they couldn't have thrown those flags any closer to him, could they? Watch, he breaks on the ball and pushes through the receiver. And then watch, then the flags come here and here. Almost hit him in the head with a thing.
Right to the mark. So Light in coverage. Alvin Harper is in the game. There's Ellard off.
Anytime, Paul, you come through the receiver to try to make a break on the ball, you're going to get called for pass interference. Pass interference could be called almost every play with the contact downfield.
On first down, they'll keep it on the ground. And Stephen Davis totes it down to the 22-yard line with just under 3 minutes to go now in the 3rd quarter. Jeff Scanina with another stop for St. Louis.
And these guys play for Bud Carson. I mean, it doesn't matter who they plug in there. This is an active group, and these guys play hard.
Ranking statistically right in the middle of the NFL of the 30 teams. Frerotte throws, nearing the first down marker. That ball is caught at the 16-yard line. Hauled in by Chris Thomas. It's 3rd and 1.
That's one way to just move in so that you have some room right here. You know, a lot of times motion is just to create, 1, freedom for the receiver to get off the jam, and 2, to change the secondary coverage calls.
Is this a Bowie call here? The big fullback, they need a yard. Oh, he's going to throw again. He throws to Bowie, though. Bowie to the 5. Bowie knocked out of bounds. Inside the 2.
It was a Bowie call. You were right.
Jack Kent Cooke Stadium rocking. Portadish will check in. Number 67 is an eligible receiver. They beef it up front. The 9th play of this drive. Bowie stopped short. 2nd and goal. Kevin Carter out to the bottom.
Yeah, Kevin Carter, but the push up front by Bill Johnson. Bill Johnson created a new line of scrimmage. He got low. His helmet, shoulder pads. Watch. See, the butt's up in the air, and watch the drive right here. See it? That's a new line of scrimmage. That's what stopped that play.
Bowie in motion, leaving Stephen Davis to carry the ball. Davis will not get in. There is a flag down, though. The tackle made for the Rams by Lorenzo Style.
Defense.
In the
Number
neutral
92
zone.
lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
We'll repeat that second and goal.
They have a good thing going. You talk about penalties, 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 penalties. That's all it is. The St. Louis shot when you're down that close to the goal line.
Bowie. Davis and whistles. A flag thrown before he went over the top.
I'll tell you what.
False start, 48 offense.
That's on Washington.
Still
That's
second
going to
down.
move them back. And you know, this St. Louis Rams defense is playing some goal line defense. 3 plays in a row, they've kept them out of the end zone. Watch these guys come over the
Judge to have moved.
If he comes in motion, he has to stay in motion. He can't approach the line of scrimmage before the ball snaps.
Now the receivers in Westbrook. Along with Jenkins out there. And timeout taken. That is the end of the quarter. We head to the 4th. Vermeil leading Norv Turner and the Redskins in Washington.
He's got the best traction you can possibly have.
Second and goal to football on this rainy day. It's rained throughout this football game. Will be spotted just outside the 5-yard line. Gus Frerotte on this drive. 4 for 5 through the air, close to 60 yards. So he's played well. Frerotte, flush. Frerotte pulls it down. Frerotte taken down, 4-yard line. Leslie O'Neal.
Now that's 4 plays the Rams have kept him out of the end zone.
Ferrotte's hobbling. Ferrotte's not right. He's twisted his right leg, and here's how it happened.
O'Neal.
Frerotte remains in. Mitchell takes the place of Stephen Davis, the lone setback. It's 3rd and goal from the 5. Frerotte throws underneath, and Washington does not get in. Mitchell to the 1-yard line. Mike Jones, the
That was
linebacker.
some great coverage right there on Mitchell.
Former Raider, and it's 4th and goal, and the crowd, of course, wants Norv Turner and the Redskins to go for it. 4th and goal from the 1. And the field goal unit's coming on.
No, they're not happy here. The fans are not happy about this.
Still have just over 13 minutes remaining. Bud Carson's defensive troops have played very well on the road today.
Well, hey, down here, they just kept them out of the end zone 5 straight plays.
A 19-yard field goal to salvage 3. They get the points. The crowd doesn't like it one bit. It's 17-13. St. Louis still in front. Coming in. They have played inspired football, especially defensively today. Forced Washington to settle for the 3, and now the rookie David Thompson will field it and come up to the 15. Dart to the 25. Still on his feet, 35-yard line.
Well, he's pretty exciting.
Yes, he is.
I can see why the Rams coaches are excited about him.
Twan Russell sprints downfield on the tackle. What a fine defensive series for St. Louis.
Yeah, watch Mike Jones right here. Watch him come up on Brian.
Receiver to the top of your screen. Jerald Moore, the lone setback on 1st down. Hanks throws, caught by Bruce. And he nears the 1st down marker out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. A big day for the 4th-year pro from Memphis. What did Dick Vermeil say? That he gives some of his players IVs. He wants to draw blood from Bruce and give him an IB. And Isaac Bruce, and inspire him and play with the heart that number 80 has.
And I think what he's actually talking about is his guys offensively. He's got a number of guys over there that are talented but aren't playing with the heart and the desire and the passion that you need to play this game, 1, and that Dick Vermeil demands, 2.
We asked Dick, was this a tougher situation than the one he inherited 20 years ago in Philadelphia? He said not close. far less tough than that. He'll get through this.
Yeah, he didn't have the athletically talented guys in Philadelphia that he has on his Rams team. But he wishes he had some of the heart that he had in Philadelphia in these guys.
A lot of heart today in Ram blue and gold. Washington did not jump. The toss sweep to Moore, who hits it up in there tough. Carries it across midfield and into Redskin territory. Let's go out to Hollywood. JB has a Carolina update.
All right, Paul and Bill, showing you that Carolina...
Lane from Lane College. Arnold McDonald's game break. 17-13 here. 2nd and 5. Moore cuts back to his left and comes up shy of the first at the 45. Marcus Patton on the stop, the middle linebacker for the Redskins as you check out other action today on our Ericsson scoreboard.
Paul, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think I'd ever thought I would say this year, but I'm watching the Rams offensive line taking control of this game. They did it on the last drive. Now they're doing it again here. They've been pounding at them all day.
Number 50 on the left side, the left guard for that offensive line. It's 3rd down and a yard. Moore, can he get it? Washington will chop him down for a loss. The defensive play of the second half, perhaps the game for Stanley Richard, that Redskin defensive unit.
Oh, so much for
punt returns for touchdowns in his career. At the top of the all-time ladder, he'll have to let this one hit, and it manages to skip on into the end zone, and the Redskins will start from their own 20-yard line. Finish strong. Norv's season might come down to the final 10 minutes and 36 seconds of this game. In his 4th year, Washington needs this win. Frerotte steps up against the pressure, coming back to it is Westbrook, and he makes his first catch of the afternoon at the 35-yard line. It's a 1st down for Washington. Well, now it perhaps is ruled incomplete.
Here, watch his hands. Nope, went through his hands.
So the right call is made.
Yeah, it was a great call too by the side judge over it. I'll tell you what though, he rolled over and tried to tell him. He said, that was a catch, I caught it.
But at least he kept his helmet on when he argued this call, as opposed to a week ago.
Oh, he learned.
Yeah, you see? Good camera work. Our producer today, Mike Burke, our director, Andy Kendall. 2nd down. Frerotte forces it down the middle and bumped was Westbrook.
Toby Wright, nice break on the ball. You know, that middle of the field is an area that you're concerned about as a receiver when you're going against Wright and Lyle.
17-13 now. Still, Washington needs the touchdown. Just over 10 minutes to go. 3rd down, 3rd and long, and over the head of Westbrook. And it's time to punt, and Frerotte will really hear it now from the crowd. Ryan McNeil in coverage. Number 47 was right with him.
Well, I think Norv Turner is really frustrated.
Kennison to field the punt by Matt Turk.
Heyward back deep too.
Right up the chute. Fair catch called for. And he made the catch at the 29, hoping for a flag on Darrell Pounds, who was very close to him. St. Louis with the lead and the football in the 4th quarter, playing on the road.
I'm not sure, but they haven't taken advantage of the situation. They're not playing with the urgency they told us they had.
Buddy Banks turns and hands to Jerald Moore. A lot of daylight. Out across the 45. He is at midfield. It's a gain of 15.
And that's, St. Louis has about 130 some odd yards rushing, 128 somewhere in that vicinity, but they're running the ball today. Now Washington, on the other hand, only has 40 yards rushing. And that's what you would think that Washington would be able to do. With the elements the way they are, the mud, the field, I mean, this is a game where you got to pound it out, and St. Louis is winning that battle.
1st and 10 from the midfield chop. Isaac Bruce in motion. Nobody went out there to cover him. He waved for the football. It went inside to Jerald Moore, who with that carry equals his combined total of yardage for this season coming in. He had 101 yards coming into this game on the ground, and he goes over the 100-yard plateau right there. It's been a career day today for the second-year pro out of Oklahoma.
And he's holding his arm there, going off of the shoulder. Watch Bruce. He's saying nobody's over here.
Yeah.
No one's here. See? Dishman didn't come over in the motion, and he was trying to show Gus for Banks to pull it down and heave it to me.
3 receivers on second down, and he throws behind his intended target, Eddie Kennison, who had positioning on Chris Dishman. It got in the inside. And now it's 3rd down with 8:43 remaining. Both clubs, by the way, we'll give this to you, have 2 times.
Seen him abandon that run early. They're doing a nice job of it today with 4.8 yards per rush.
Amply, the deepest back with Thompson. Banks sends him out in the pattern, swings the ball out to him. Can he get the first down? For the first down marker, he does, and he steps out of bounds. What a day for Amply, too, out of that Ram backfield. Darrell Pounds, the closest Redskin defender. It's a gain of 9 and a fresh set of downs for St. Louis.
That's the experience. That's the experience Amply has. He knows what to do when he gets the ball. He knows where the first down marker is going to be at. He knows how to get into the flat and get open and get away from receivers and coverage. Watch Pounds. Now watch right there's the marker, and he stepped out right in front of him.
His 5th reception for Amply today. He has a touchdown, 83 yards. And now Moore hitting the backfield. And down he goes.
That's Steve Edmond.
Edmond just signed this week. Former Colt, Dolphin, makes the play there. What you get with him, according to Charlie Casserly, the general manager, is a fresh set of legs, a bridge. 2nd down. And fullback now is Jay Williams, number 96. Got hit in the backfield. Jerald Moore dropped, and down he goes back to the 47-yard line. Kennard Lang, or Ken Harvey, rang him up.
Yeah. That was Aaron Lang in the backfield at fullback.
Rise up.
Amply and David Thompson in the backfield.
Arnold Lee again. And they get pushed and pressured deep down the field. Throwing. That is caught inside the 10-yard line by Eddie Kennison. 1st and goal, and he did so against a protesting Darrell Green, a disbelieving Darrell Green.
Darrell said he pulled my jersey, pushed off. He wasn't happy about the call. But I'll tell you, the nice job here was done by the throw. It was Banks. He has time. He sets up in the pocket. Now watch the pocket. Look at it. That's a pocket. When he has time and he lays that ball out there, and look where he throws this thing. It's perfect. That's a perfect throw.
1 foot. Oh, I don't know about the 2nd foot. It's ruled a catch. 1st down for St. Louis. Moore. No hole for him. Mark Boutte, the former Ram, the run stuffer, closed it down. There was nowhere for Moore to go.
Boy, you're right about this ball.
You need 2 feet.
Well, let's see where the catch is first. Catch. He's out. He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds. He sure is. His feet are up in the air there. There's one. 2nd one's out.
That was Boris Cheek, the back judge, that ruled him inbound. 5.5 minutes remaining. 2nd down. Banks throws, and his tight end, Ernie Conwell, cannot hold the pass. 3rd down approaching.
Should have caught that ball.
Right on the hands. Ernie's made 1 acrobatic grab today for a huge gain. And bet 237 yards.
Showing a lot of composure today, too. He really has.
3rd down. And goal. Banks sets it up, throws to Moore. To the 5. And they'll attempt a field goal out of this with just over 5 minutes remaining. Lamont Evans on the stop. And out comes Jeff Wilkins. Kicked 1 today, up 30 yards.
This one, too.
Yep.
Time.
Wilkins from 24. Out of the hole to keep Lyle. And this one is good.
That's good. That's 3 points they actually shouldn't have, Paul.
20-13 now. And a good job, Lyle, to get this ball down. Lewis gets 3 out of it they should not have had. And now kicking it away. Brian Mitchell out to the 20 and the 21-yard line. And then the field goal. Lyle earlier had picked a pass off to set up a field goal. Now with the Niners' one and only reception of the day, you see the timeouts remaining. Frerotte. He's going to take off now. Frerotte with the first down. Out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that brings this fans to the feet. They like that.
Scrambling for 19 yards. Run from scrimmage for the Redskins today. It's 1st and 10, just outside the 40. Frerotte, flush from the pocket, tries to dump it. Coming back to him was Davis. And it's ruled incomplete. He was on his way to the turf, and Davis came back heads up to the football.
That was a blitz by the Rams. The Rams were coming at him that time. Mike Jones, Robert Jones.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers today. Leading the Redskins is New York by a full game in the NFC East. Frerotte, 3-step drop and floats it down the boundary. Incomplete for Michael Westbrook. The crowd wanted a flag. They are not going to get it. The defender, Tajay Allen.
That was a nice job by Tajay Allen on Michael Westbrook down the field. But you should have seen how quick that pocket closed around Frerotte. No sooner was he put back on his plant foot, and that pocket just folded into him.
Gus has failed to
he's
connect.
looking for answers too. He's like, hey, what the heck's going on?
He's without a completion in his last 5 passing attempts. And he faces 3rd down and 10 from his 41 with 3:40 to play. Trailing the St. Louis Rams. Over the middle. This is caught by Michael Westbrook. 1st down Washington, a 3rd down grab. He's in St. Louis territory.
Oh, they did it. They did it in a must time to do it too. I mean, they could ill afford to punt the ball away.
14, Jamie Asher in motion. Frerotte again, airborne throwing. Did he get his feet down? Yes, he did. That's Westbrook a 2nd time.
I said earlier, wide receiver, he can handle. And he's a thoroughbred.
The season perhaps hanging in the balance. Each of those 2 Westbrook catches. 1st and 10, the Ram 32-yard line.
Here it comes.
Against the pressure, Frerotte throws it over the head of his intended target, the very quiet Henry Ellard today. In double coverage. Had him bracketed at the 5-yard line.
Washington Redskins, from what we see now, the organization, the way it stands right now, 4 years under Norv Turner, they're expecting bigger results than what they've got. They need a win here today to keep those hopes alive.
2nd and 10 from the 31. Frerotte can't find anyone open. That is for the lateral. It'll be marked out of bounds.
Sure
back
was.
upfield at the 44-yard line.
That was a backwards pass.
Leslie O'Neal with pressure may have caused that.
Well, it was. What happened is he pushed Joe Patton back into Gus's lap. Now watch Gus's arm. It's going to come down on Joe Patton. Right here, he runs into his own offensive lineman as he tries to make that throw.
And passes behind the quarterback are ruled to be fumbles, laterals. And thus the loss on the play will push the ball. It's a loss of a dozen. Will push the ball back to the 44. How freakish. And now on 3rd down and 22, Frerotte swinging it out to Mitchell with a blocker in front and stopped at the 35-yard line. It's 4th down.
4th and about 11 and a half or 12.
We're getting close to the 2-minute warning as well.
Now this is decision time here.
You got to go for it. You may not get it for the season and a lot more than that. 4th and 12 at the 34. Frerotte throws. Westbrook close to the 1st down marker. Where do they spot the ball?
He's got it.
The 3rd reception of this drive. And it's first down, Washington.
Yeah, Michael Westbrook's really stepping up when he needs to. Again, working on the rookie, Tajay.
With 2:21 remaining, and they trail to the Redskins, to St. Louis, which has dropped 8 straight and is winless on the road, 20-13.
Here comes the blitz.
Frerotte throws. Westbrook can't get there this time. Todd Light with coverage on the play for St. Louis.
Nice adjustment outside by Michael Westbrook on the hot read. Good job by Frerotte picking it up. You know, when you get inside the 20-yard line, you're going to get some pressure. Watch, he adjusted a hot read, takes the slant inside. But Gus had to get rid of that ball quick. I mean, just as Westbrook was turning around to look at the ball, it was there.
Larry Bowie reports for duty for Washington on 2nd and 10. Now remember, he's an effective pass receiver, especially in the flat. He is the fullback in the eye. Terry Allen out of the game. Play action to Davis. The throw batted away. Batted away by Todd Light.
Lucky it wasn't picked.
They were looking for Ellard, who has been shut down today by Todd Light.
Boy, this was close to being picked. Ellard takes him. Now you watch it, you have to throw this out across the field. Look at the separation he has stepping in front of that thing. That was darn close to being picked.
2:13 remaining.
Oh, actually, they have 2 timeouts, Washington, because you use that 2-minute warning as an extra timeout when you're down here in this situation.
Yep, good point. 3rd and 10. Here we are again. The Ram 22. Frerotte can find no one open, so he throws underneath off the hands of Larry Bowie.
And here they are again. The same situation they find themselves in. They just were 4th down, and they've got to go.
Well this year with very few wins to show, just a pair. Have an opportunity here to pull off their 3rd of the year.
Alvin Harvard checks in the game. Larry Bowie comes out.
And now they're going to use their last timeout with 2:07 to go. They couldn't get the play in. 10 at the St. Louis 22.
We'll see if that timeout paid off. You know, everything comes down to this one play. Norv wanted to take the timeout to make sure he had what he wanted in this situation. It's do or die here.
Perhaps the final play. Frerotte throws. Allen's first catch of the day.
And nobody touched him. Tajay Allen didn't touch him down.
He's down to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal, Washington.
I'll tell you what, this was a heck of a play by Ellard. And I'm surprised he threw the ball to Ellard because Brian Mitchell was wide open. They have actually what is a bunch of group over here. Here's Ellard, but look right here. No one's there. I was surprised he threw it. It's a great thing that Henry Ellard came up with a catch. And then Allen sat there and they were confused and he never downed them.
The rookie Tajay Allen didn't know he had to touch him. Clutch, 4th down reception. Got up, wasn't touched, carried it down to the 2-yard line. Washington trailing the upset-minded St. Louis Rams by a touchdown. Less than 2 minutes to go in the game. 1st and goal.
Yeah, they had 2 do-or-die situations where it was 4th down here. 4th down, they had to go for it. Michael Westbrook on the first one, and then Henry Ellard on the second one.
A 14th play of the drive coming up. Frerotte play action into the corner, nobody home. Again for Ellard.
Now, the last time the Redskins were down here, and it was
Bounce left for the burgundy and gold. St. Louis owns a pair. Inside give. Touchdown Washington. And Brian Mitchell. Larry Nemmers, our referee. With his crew around him. The 150 mark.
That's going to be a dead ball foul, I believe, on the Rams. Will probably assess it on the opposing kickoff.
Wants to make sure he's got this straight. And the controversial play at the other end of the field, a catch by Eddie Kennison. It's rolled to completion. Replay showed Kennison was out of bounds. It set up a most important field goal for Dick Vermeil's team. Larry Nemmers.
There was no foul on the play. The play hit the shoulder pad and not the face mask. Touchdown.
Well, okay, they threw the play. They threw the flag. They thought it was face mask.
Tie us at 20 all. Larry Bowie got his first score of the season earlier. Now Brian Mitchell. Again, a very short kick. David Thompson outside his 10-yard line. Out of bounds across the 35 to the 37. Great field position for St. Louis with 1:43 to go. And here comes young Tony Banks back on the faithful here that is stuck through the raindrops. Channing defense. Throwing on first down. That is caught by Torrance Small, just shy of the first down marker at the 49, a gain of 9.
And he had protection. Tony Banks had protection in the pocket. When he has protection and he drops back and stands in the pocket and throws that ball, he looks like a veteran guy that's been doing it for years.
2nd and 1. Banks has thrown for 250 yards in a score today. Batted down and now grabbed by a lineman in Zach Heyward. And off the deflection, he carries for the first down.
Yeah.
Heyward gets the first, the right guard.
That's a second heads-up play he made. Remember, he recovered that fumble down in the backed up on the goal line. This play gets batted right here by Entman, and then anybody's eligible to catch it after it's batted down.
On first down from midfield. Off the fingertips of Small in front of Pounds. Nearly snared that on his gloved hand.
Boy, that was a nice thrown ball, too.
50 seconds remaining.
No, and as a player, you just feel, God, if I had that over again. Game's on the line, ball's on your fingertips, you'll remember that one.
Bruce to the bottom of your screen, Small in the slot, Kennison up top. 2nd down, the blitz on. Banks slings it, bobbled, ruled a incomplete pass. A late call ruled an incomplete pass. The crew hesitated. It's 3rd down.
Watch this thing. Here's Stanley Richard on the late blitz.
Hold him here, St. Louis. Have to punt the ball back to the Redskins in the rain. Banks throws, Ampley, first down. Ampley, perhaps a touchdown.
Push out at the 2.
1st and goal, St. Louis.
At the 4-yard line.
A gain of 46 on 3rd down. Ampley has had a dazzling day, and so has Banks now with 300 yards throwing the football.
Watch him get downfield. Watch him right here. Boy, that was nice. That was, we saw it before. Thibodeau, the dime back who comes in, is responsible as the dime backer to pick up the back out of the backfield. That's the 2nd time today Ampley has beat him for a big play. And you talk about the Rams, Paul, you talk about them having to learn how to win. This is the process. They've been in a bunch of close games. It's the 1 or 2 plays like this that's going to force them into these situations.
First things first. 1st and goal. 35 seconds to go. They take the remaining time off the clock. They will.
And they're not going to chance any kind of mishap, any kind of fumble with the exchange with a running back. They're just going to let him sit back there and take a knee.
And all Norv can do is watch. It comes down to a field goal try to win for St. Louis. It has not won, have these Rams on the road this year. 0 for 5. They have dropped 8 straight, and they have not won. And the Redskins, a field goal by Jeff Wilkins will do it. For Norv, this franchise has not been in the playoffs since 1992. May not be going there this year either. Wilkins for the win from 25. And it is good. It is good. And the Rams will win for the first time in 2 seasons outdoors, and the first time this year away from home. And for Norv and the Redskins, how do you explain this when you controlled your own destiny?
Well, they talked to us about urgency. They talked to us about winning the game. Nice snap. Lyle does a good job of getting it down, and that's an automatic for Jeff Wilkins from that distance. But the Redskins had opportunities this game, Paul. They didn't take advantage of them. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, I'm real disappointed in their offensive line. Their offensive line had a chance to come out today. This is hog-like weather. Rain in, muddy field. and they should have run the ball. They didn't run the ball today. They did not do a good job of running the ball today.
Banks with 300 yards passing, a trio of field goals by his troubled kicker, Jeff Wilkins. And he said, Dick, yes, soon this young team is going to have a big win in them, and it might come today. It has. This will end an 8-game slide for St. Louis.
Washington ends the day with 49 yards rushing. That's not the Washington Redskins we know. They've got to run Terry Allen, and they've got to get rushing yards to be a successful unit offensively, and they didn't do it today. And then when Gus had to pass the ball, they had pressure in his face all day long. He was getting hit nearly every time he threw the ball.
He'll skip this along the ground, and the final seconds will tick away. Up runs Mitchell, and it went right past it. Now Darrell Green, one of the fastest Redskins, spinning around, whirling at his own 10.
Throw it back.
And down he'll go at the 20. And this one belongs to the St. Louis Rams, upsetting Norv Turner's Washington Redskins to end an 8-game losing streak. Your final 23-20. Dick Vermeil with his first win in Washington, D.C. in 15 years. And he's smiling ear to ear.
Paul, and that's a big win for Dick Vermeil and those young guys. You know, I said at the top of the show, they haven't had fun. They've lost 10 games. It's been rough for them. They needed a boost. They got a boost. They're looking towards the future. Now, for the Redskins, they had an opportunity to seize the moment, to seize the rest of the season, to win out and win the division, and they let it slip by them. And for one coach, Dick Vermeil, it's the start of something new for next year. And on the other side of it, you have to look at Norv Turner and say he hasn't been able to get this team to the playoffs the whole time he's been there, and this could be a game that keeps him out of it this year.
Brad Habers with Dick Vermeil.
All right, Coach, you know, Tony Banks comes out of last week's game with a concussion. Some doubt as to whether or not he could play this week. He played very well, acquitted himself. No better way to prove his health than by what he did today.
Well, he did a great job, and I think a lot of people did a great job. The whole squad. We came here with the goal of playing like a playoff team. We have done that on the defensive side of the ball a few times. We've done it a couple times offensively. Today, we wanted to put it all together. We still made some mistakes, but we beat a good football team in this stadium, and that's tough to do, and I'm proud of them.
Some question as to whether or not you can move the ball on the ground without Lawrence Phillips. You certainly proved that as well today.
Well, hey, I'd like to have Lawrence Phillips, believe me. But I have Jerald Moore, and he's a good football player, and I trust him with the ball. And the whole squad rallied around him, and they did a good job.
Dick Vermeil may not be playoff bound, but he did indeed play like a playoff team today. Let's send it back upstairs.
Thank you.
His third win of the season. And for the Redskins, much like their quarterback and Gus Frerotte a week ago, Washington again this year has hit the wall.